Okay, take two. Hopefully, y'all will come back. Hi. Hello, 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 hello. Okay. Hey. So, just really quickly, welcome to the Becky Brown Girl Show. I don't even know what it's called tonight because I'm so discombobulated, but that's okay. We're gonna reel it back in, right? I appreciate y'all joining me late. I had like massive train delays. I'll tell y'all that story in a second. I'm gonna go ahead and add my co-host Pete Chinnery photo. Some of y'all may know him from Hip Hop Jeopardy fame. He is the judgiest judge of all. And tonight we're going to be talking about hot topics. So I'm going to go ahead and add him so we can get started since it's already hella late. And once again, I appreciate y'all for. Tonight we are talking about hot topics. I'm sorry, I missed your. Hello, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Say hello to the people.
What up? I just want to get this
Hold on.
started. You already know I'm ready to go. Ready to go.
No, you have to introduce yourself to the people. I kind of like introed you, but just
I take pictures. That's what I do. That's it. Let's go.
such a pain in the ass.
Let's go,
Anyway,
man.
so no,
Everybody to talk about.
we were debating whether or not to still do tonight's episode because, as y'all know, I normally do it at 8-ish, and but I had like major train delays on the way home. I have the craziest story. I was going to take an Uber with this lady that I met who was going to the same place, and her son ended up giving us a ride. I didn't know if I was going to make it home because he was driving like he was on a NASCAR racetrack, but here I am. So I said, come on now. I already let the people know 9:30 is my time, so let's do it. We're talking about hot topics, trending topics. We're going to talk about Diddy. We're going to talk about Cameron. If there's any other trending topics that y'all want to talk about in the comments, let us know. What else? I swear I be wanting to talk about politics so bad.
Don't you know you can't.
I know I can't, but I be wanting to talk about them so bad. Anyway, but if there's something else y'all want to talk about in the comments, let us know. So I guess we can go ahead and get started with Diddy. Well, first of all, so young P. Chinnery here has many nicknames, including.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
I
You know
didn't.
you know how many texts I got about it? Like, you can't call yourself Diddy. I mean, first of all, it wasn't a name I gave myself, but that's one of my many monikers. But yeah,
That's you retiring that one.
yeah. Listen, I never chose to call myself that, but yeah, I think I might have to just be like, nah, you can't call me that now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
gotta
you
go
might have
back
to
to the other
retire
names. Yeah.
that. Okay, so obviously, I know that there were people sort of on both sides of the fence. Um, you know, he's obviously had a major impact. Him and his label have had a major impact on the music industry, especially for those of us of a certain age, right? Um, and although there have always been whispers about him, um, not I don't think I previously heard anything specific about domestic violence, but about some of the other things that have come out about him. Um, but the video, and I never thought, oh, well, he couldn't possibly have done that. I personally didn't think that, but I mean, it was so egregious, and I think it changed the perspectives of some of those people who were like, well, we're not sure, and let's see, and why they always trying to take a black man down, or is the man trying to take himself down? Why do we not want to hold folks accountable for for their fuckery?
I mean, I think that. Listen, I think what he does is like what he has done is despicable, And I think that at first when I heard all this stuff, I was saying the same thing too. Like, yeah, I mean, we always hear about black men with like being sexual predators, and every now and then you hear about a white guy doing it. So I mean, me as a black man, it's like there's always these racial stereotypes, and of course, the one surrounding black men is always around sexuality, right? And that was a thing where in the early 1900s, that's what the blackface minstrelsism and stuff like that. That's one of the things they did to make white people scared of us, to be like, yo, they're sexual predators, blah blah blah. So again, I'm not saying that absolves them of that. I'm just saying that when we hear about Mike Tyson, Tupac, all the people who get taken down is always surrounded by sexual predators, as if there's not a whole bunch of white dudes doing. I mean, I'm not excusing it though. I see that face you're making. I'm
Don't
not
get in
excusing
trouble.
it. I'm not excusing it. I'm not excusing it. I'm just saying like there are for every black guy, there's probably just the same, if not more, white dudes doing the same thing.
So
That's it.
here's my take on that. What you just did is on some, and you know what I'm getting ready to say. You know what I'm getting ready to say. I'm not, and listen, I love black men, and I'm not going to sit up here and say, well, you know, it's he's an individual, right? And individuals that are abusive
Yeah.
have to be punished in some way, and I don't even think he's going to be punished. But there should be a consequence for that behavior. It's not acceptable, no matter who does it, whether they look like us or not. No matter who does it, yes, society will, crucify the black man, and perhaps not in the same way do it for the white man, but it's wrong across the board.
I don't.
So it's not even about race. I understand as a black man, you may see it through a different lens, but there's never a justification for it, no matter the fame. And I'm not saying you justified it. All I'm saying is that people are going to come for your neck if you make it a all lives matter.
Nah,
Like, why can't
and it's not that. That's why I'm like, I want to be clear by saying like, I don't think that anything he's done like that's some suction. Like the way, like grabbing her by her hair, kicking her in the back, throwing vases at her. I mean, it's just all despicable. What I'm saying is, and I'm sure if there are black guys on here, they will definitely understand when we see us getting vilified, it's always through us being like these sexual predators to like, again, just them raiding his house. They didn't do Harvey Weinstein's house like that. He's a huge sexual predator. They didn't come with the helicopters and the tanks and the this and the that and the gear and televised on CNN and C-SPAN. It's just like it's like they had to show, like, look at this billionaire black dude. Again, not absolving what he did. Sucker shit, bad shit, evil shit. Whatever he did, he deserves whatever he gets. I'm just saying it's the level of publicity it gotten, and it's just it's that's my only issue with it is the level of publicity because of who it is.
they're gonna get you.
I mean, listen. I want to see in the comments.
Well,
Listen.
so I
Listen.
don't really
Please,
see
I'm here
anybody.
for it. I'm here for it.
I
I'm here for
don't
it.
I don't really see anybody saying, like, what do y'all think about it? Most of the commentary I've seen, from women and men has been, condemning it, as it should. It
As
should
it
be
should
that
be.
way.
As it should be.
Um, but but my point was more so that prior to that video, there were people, and it was a lot of men, few women I saw, that were automatically on some, oh well, why didn't she file a criminal charges, or like why didn't she go to the police sooner, or
No.
why is she just trying to, it's just a money grab, like, if it was so bad, why didn't she leave? Not understanding, like, that Stockholm syndrome. I've not been abused, so I can't speak to um the experience, myself, but I will say that, what I hear other women describe is like, somebody that claims to love you one minute and then is whooping your ass the next, like, they will
Yeah.
beat you down, not just physically, but mentally and psychologically, to the point that you feel like you can't leave. You feel
Right.
dependent on them, and it's like this toxic. And again, I'm not speaking from like any expert position, but there's like terms for that type of like attachment um to that sort of toxic behavior. And but no matter what, she's a victim.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't think that anyone after seeing what he did. First of all, we know people in the industry. Listen, hold on, we know people in the industry. I'm sure a lot of people in here know somebody that's 6 degrees of separation, and I'm sure people are 1 degree away from Diddy, right? We've all heard the stuff before about Diddy. We've all heard he's a tyrant, a bad boy. He used to be. I mean, you see the show. Look at the making a band. He was doing that. I mean, I'm not saying this is beyond the sexual predator. We heard things about this man
There's a difference between
for
being an
years.
asshole
Right,
and
he's an asshole, right?
and
But
being
then they were
abuse. Well,
right,
and
but then there were
that was a
whispers about that stuff. There were the little backdoor whispers, like people heard the gay stuff, people heard the abuse and stuff. A lot of people in the industry heard about this stuff, but they made little side jokes about it. He goes on radio stations saying some real super suspect stuff. So it ain't like he's like kind of open with it, and he kind of like everyone knows like, oh, if you go to a Diddy party, you know what time it is. Like people know what time it is. With Diddy, not, and a lot of them are probably into some of that stuff too. That's why a lot of people might be silent because they're like, yeah, I was there, I was partaking in it.
hold on. I'm just gonna respond to this one comment that Kilkenny 718 said. He said he's so tired of the but white folk
The
argument.
what?
He's so tired of the but white folk argument. I don't care what they're doing. I care about what we're doing to each other.
I, I I agree, but what I'm just saying is imagery is everything, right? Imagery. I'm a photographer, right? That's what I do, and I come from a history of photography. I study history, right? You got to understand when they put images, you might not think it does anything to you, or whatever. But who said that? Kilkenny? What?
Uh, yeah,
Okay,
Kilkenny
you might
718.
not think it does anything to you, but when you see constant program and imaging of a certain stereotype, a certain thing, it, even if you're not like that, you will start to believe that that's what you are like. And again, I'm not saying I'm absolving him of anything. I said my thing is it's just the balance of how they always show. Someone in here mentioned that was a good point. Ben Roethlisberger. That Ben Roethlisberger stuff, they swept that shit under the rug. Like nobody even talks about Ben Roethlisberger with the sexual predator or sexual abuse that he did. Nobody, it doesn't even come up.
But you know that they're going to always like it doesn't fit the narrative, right?
Right.
And so they're going to, so we we have protected our own. Like, people have predators in their own family, right?
Yeah, and
Like
we
we
shouldn't.
and
And we
and
shouldn't.
and those creepy uncles and
Yes.
cousins and whatever be getting protected too. Nobody don't want to say nothing about that either. Like we don't talk about that. Meanwhile, they continue to go on, and perpetrate abuse and molestation and a type of a bunch of other bullshit on their family members and perpetuate that drama. So I mean trauma, excuse me. So I understand what you're saying, but
Yeah, I'm not excusing it.
the firing squad is going to come for
Fire,
you.
fire away. I mean, I'm just speaking on facts. I'm just speaking on history. I'm speaking on facts. I'm speaking of programming. I'm speaking of stereotypes. I'm speaking of things that the media does to make people who don't know black people to be like, see, but they're not doing that in the same ratio of all the white men that's doing
No,
that. I'm
because
not
they're going to
saying.
protect their own. They're
Right. So
always
I'm
going
not
to
saying I'm not
protect their own.
excusing Diddy of doing anything. I'm telling you, I'm not excusing. Like, I don't want anyone to try and snip my statements as like, oh, but it's not about he's wrong. If he did the stuff he did with Cassie is despicable, he should go do time. Like he's not probably gonna do time because he's so rich. But what I'm saying is it's the unbalance again. Roethlisberger, in the NFL, a lot of people in here are NFL fans. You always hear of all these suspensions and this. It's always black dudes. You'll never really have no suspensions of white dudes in the NFL like that. Never. Barely. If you hear, like, it might be one. Every time it's a suspension, it is either substance abuse problem, domestic abuse, drinking and driving, drug. Like it's always black
No,
guys. And again, after a while, you start to take that in, and you start to believe that hey, we're all criminals, we're all bad. That's
so
how it goes.
yeah, so Web De Niro, yes, everyone should be held accountable and
Correct.
held to the same standard. But this is America, in case y'all.
Ain't
I
no
mean, we
buts.
have a
It's
perfect
wrong.
example of how unequal. I mean, listen, we all know how unequal the justice system is, but like at another level of injustice happening right now. So, and once again, I'm not touching politics as much as I want to. It's like eating me alive, but I can't touch that. So, y'all's
Yeah, but
y'all's
yeah, but
king.
Ern Tucker is saying we can't control media. I understand we
Yeah,
can't
we
control the media.
can't.
But it doesn't mean that like you have to just push back on stuff like that. You have to push back, or again, one of the things I do when I have the chance, opportunity, images I take, I make sure that I have the whole picture. I make sure I have like a whole bunch of dope positive images. There's some images that we might not want to see, like mine do street photography on homelessness or drug, like anything like that. Like I'm a documentarian, but I make sure that I put in is I try to put out like dope images too of black people looking good. Or you know what I'm saying? Like I like to do anything. To me, it's not about race. When I'm photography behind the camera, it's about the story. But what I'm saying is the media is controlling people's narrative. That's controlling our narrative by putting these images out here. And Diddy's wrong. Again, that's the final statement. Diddy's wrong. Whatever he gets, he deserves. That's it.
The thing is, he probably won't though. Not the kind of
He's a billionaire.
consequences that people,
He's a
feel like
billionaire.
he should, because they're saying, and I guess it's because each state has a different statute of limitations on on certain. But again, so domestic abuse is horrible. Y'all keep your hands to your motherfucking self, and and if you don't know how to do that, then you need to seek help. Like that's never acceptable. It's never okay. And women who are going through that, like, please, like, try to find your way out of that situation. Like, I don't. Again, it's easy to say when you're not living it, but and that's another point again that I just wanted to drive home before we switch to a different topic, unless y'all have any other
Can I
thoughts
just say
on
one thing
Diddy.
about what Ern Tuck says? He's saying like let's not act like the media or justice system doesn't sweep crimes against black women under the rug. The what about white people threatens to further dismiss crimes against black women. I disagree with that because I'm a big advocate. Like I remember even when people on Facebook like that, I'm like, yo, whatever happened to the whole campaign about these black women missing? Like it was like they put it out there, it was a big campaign, and then nobody talks about that. I have a problem with that, right? And just if one doesn't negate the other, just because you're saying the media is like is weighted to show bad stereotypes of black people and positive stereotypes of other races, it doesn't dismiss the fact that they should not be showing the things that the crimes against black women. Because again, I just watched a documentary. I don't know if any of y'all saw this documentary, but called American Murder. Did you see that documentary? American Murder? Yo, that documentary is so crazy. It's about a guy, a white woman missing, a guy coming home and like, what happened to my wife and kids? And I don't even want to tell you, I want to spoil it, but you
Well,
pretty much
I
know how
already
it's
can
gonna go.
imagine.
You know how it's gonna go, but they turn this town upside down looking for this white lady. And when black women are missing, it's a blip in the news. So I'm not saying this because I'm saying make it a balanced scale that dismisses what they should be doing. Black women, there's a mad black woman missing. They could be in somebody's basement right now. Like next door to you where you live. It could be some creep that live next door in the basement. She's right there. Nobody would ever know. Because they don't turn anything upside down for black women. So I'm not excusing that at all. I disagree with what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, but I don't think that argument spills over into the black women argument at all. Not even a little bit.
So
Not for me
you
at least.
so you are agreeing that there should be consequences for Diddy and anyone
One,
else who
of course.
perpetuates violence against black women, well, against any women. Any
Anybody. Yeah, it's a
women.
human
So
thing.
this is not a racial issue,
It's a human
but
thing.
I understand. Like I'm saying I understand again, like you may have a different take on it, as a black man, but again, people take, like, well, you know it's a touchy subject.
Yeah, but see, Aaron Tucker's making it seem like I'm not defending anybody. He's like, it does negate it. Black men being seen as defending victimizers. I'm not see, that's where you're wrong. I'm not defending any victimizers. When did you hear me say I'm defending a victim? I'm not defending anybody who's a victim of violent crime.
I think
Period.
I think that you I think that not necessarily I don't remember sort of how your statement started out, but you did, point to others of other races who have been who've been accused and found guilty or not found guilty of sexual assault, because there's a lot of them. Like Woody Allen. I mean, nobody said he assaulted her, but you married your adopted daughter. And I don't know if she was a minor, but just the levels of like fuckery. I can't. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about Diddy. And I think we talking about practice, not the game. You
Yeah,
dig me? So I think
again,
we need to I think we need to focus on the matter at hand. But I do get what you're saying though.
I mean,
I
I
get what
think
you're saying.
that like V Bolton is coming on saying Aaron Tuck. I ain't saying you. I'm not saying you. God's being done. The sisters in real time. I'm not saying you don't get what you deserve. I'm talking about outside. Again, this is my statement. Diddy's wrong. That's it. My thing is above Diddy. Okay, my issue is above Diddy. It's about the way the media portrays us when there are the same amount of white men or Asian men, whatever, Indian men. They actually say that they say that the pedophilia in India is actually not the same, but because there's more people, so per capita is about the same. But because there's more people over there, it seems like it's the same. But again, there's all these crimes going on, and when you turn on the news, you just hear about the black crimes. That's my only issue. It ain't about just again. I'm not going to go back and forth because it's going to be a long conversation.
Yeah,
If
because
we were
I
face to
don't want to.
face, we could have that debate. But it's not about just Diddy. It's not about R. Kelly. And again, a lot of y'all are selective because here, let's have this conversation. There's a lot of things that point to Michael Jackson being a predator, right? And there's some people who be like, I don't care, fuck that, and nobody really knows the truth. But people say again, they show him being a sexual predator, and people will have their selective. I'm not listening to him. Who ain't gonna listen to fucking Michael Jackson? Ain't nobody stop listening to Michael Jackson. People say, oh, R. Kelly. Who stopped listening to Michael Jackson here? Put your hand up. And how convincing did some of those stories sound? That's all I'm saying. I'm waiting to see who ain't listening to Michael Jackson.
But so here's why I think this is here's why I think this is different. A, because you always, well, no, you don't always hear about like, you know celebrities like molesting or sexually assaulting. There's select ones amongst them, right, who do this, and there should be consequences for their actions and wealth and
Yeah.
proximity to power, and if they consider you like within their circle, even if you don't look like them, right? Money brings you into their circle, then they're willing to protect you to a point. So a lot of people do a lot of bad shit and get away with it because they have money and they have proximity to power. That does not make it okay. And it's unfortunate once again that justice is not um it's not handed out equally, right? Even even amongst the public who support people, right? You do make a valid point that we pick and choose who we vilify. The difference in this case,
Mm-hmm.
though, is with all the rumors and the things that were being said against him, now you have a video evidence
Right.
of him whooping her
Yeah.
ass. I
Right. Mm-hmm.
mean, she's a teeny tiny thing, even if she wasn't.
Right. Nah. Agreed. Agreed.
But he
Agreed.
he looks like he's probably high and drunk and whatever it was. It doesn't matter if you're sober, you're high, you're drunk, whatever it is. Keep your mother effing hands to
Yeah,
yourself.
because he ain't doing that to DMX. He ain't doing. Now that's one thing. I'm not saying excuse me. Like like somebody like DMX, just like everybody knows he will step to anybody. He don't care. One person, 20 people behind him, nobody behind him. That's X. And throughout the industry, so even if you saw him do it, you'd be like, yo, that's messed up. But X is gonna be the same all around the thing. Like, I think that's some real sucker shit. He's like beating up on a woman. He ain't gonna talk. He ain't gonna step to Jada. He ain't gonna step to Sean Price. He ain't gonna step to anybody who's like on some gang shit and start doing some shit like that. It's some real sucker. You hitting on a woman, yo. It's hitting on a woman. But again, we've heard all these things about him, so it's not. Jaguar Wright was telling us about this for years.
Yeah, but so again, now a lot of the things that she previously said now sound like
Yeah,
facts. But
yeah,
prior
I believe it.
to
I believe
prior
it.
to prior to all these other revelations, or factual to an extent, right, with some embellishment. But the thing is, like, she's not, she wasn't popping. She didn't have some, like, she didn't blow up in the industry in the same way that some of these other singers did, female singers. And so so it could have come across like
She's
sour
jaded.
grapes.
Yeah, like she's jaded. Yeah, it did.
Not just jaded, and I'm not saying that none of what she was saying is true. It just sounded like, it sounded unhinged at the time. At least that's what I was thinking.
Nah, I
But
mean,
yeah, in hindsight,
because she
but
was
now
giving.
it's like,
If you listen to her, she had a lot of details with stuff. That's why I didn't think she was crazy. She was saying stuff, and the way she was standing on business, like she was saying it like super matter of fact. You're not like, yeah, I kind of heard. She was like, no, and then she was saying stuff like, y'all gonna see. Oh, y'all gonna see. Like she was saying it like, watch. Like it's only gonna be a matter of time. I believed her. I believed
so
her.
so so hold on, Earn, because again, I don't want to get, I don't want to just focus on Diddy, because the intent of this particular episode was just to talk about like topics that are trending, because that's not usually what I do. I usually like to focus on shit that's happening in the real world.
That is the real world. God damn it.
Well, domestic violence is 1000% in the real world. You're right, but there's certain topics that I don't, necessarily like to touch, and this could be one of them. Uh, but I said, you know what? Let's make tonight trending topic. So here we are.
Yeah.
So there's a few of you that have very strong opinions. I know Kamani, you said you wanted to join, so. But we're not just going to talk about Diddy, but I'll let y'all jump on if you want to share your 2 cents. Um, okay, so Miss Real Estate said Diddy would have had to kill me because would have had to unalive you because I'm gonna run my mouth flat out.
That
Again,
sounds good when you're not in a situation.
well,
That's all I'm
right,
saying.
that's what I was about to say. So, um, I feel like that's what I would do too, but
Until you win it. Everybody
but
thought they couldn't be a slave too. Oh, I wish the motherfucking master come with whip on my back. You would have did what everybody else would have did. You'd have fell in line. And then you might have ran away or somebody. You wouldn't like all that gangster talk if you was in slavery, just like it doesn't mean anything to me. Like
um,
so
okay, EP the Hope Dealer, hold on. Kimani, if you still want to join, let me know in the comments. And okay, so Earn, you good on the Diddy stuff? Okay, I heard you. I said what I said. I got it.
you
Okay,
good.
listen, we not trying to come to fisticuffs. We already have enough black on black violence in the world. Can't we all just get along?
Brother
Well,
love.
no, we can't just get
Brother
along.
love.
No,
Brother.
no. We are not. No, we're not talking about him up in here. And well, we are talking about him, but not like
We
that.
could go to the next subject. I'm good off Diddy. We kind of spent a long time on him, but I don't want nobody
Uh,
to think I'm condoning this shit.
so
It's about the media.
okay, so we also want to talk about Cameron. I'm gonna let hold on, EP. Let me see if Kamani is still
And
here.
y'all know I'm opinionated. I like listen, man. I'm sick.
Hella opinionated. They gonna come get you.
Whatever. I'm here. I'll take it.
Mm,
It's a debate.
okay.
It's a debate. I never ran from. I never ran from a debate, so I'm scared of.
Okay. He said, "No, you don't have to be angry. I mean, listen, everyone is entitled to their opinion. So, and his opinion is, probably a bit on the controversial side. Okay, I just sent you a request. So, Kamani, I'm trying to add you.
But also, my opinion is also getting a little thwarted because I'm not negating anything about the right or wrongness of what he's doing. I'm just saying my issue is because I'm a photographer, because I believe in images and imagery, and I know what it means. I understand the programming that's happening to vilify us even more, even though we're playing into the role, just like gangster rappers or whatever. You're playing into that role. However, it's just being highlighted more, and that has more damage than you think it does. But
Okay, well,
that's
okay,
all.
all right. I just tried to add Kamani, and he's saying he can't join now. So I'm gonna go ahead and add EP.
Okay, you're not angry. I got it. We good. We good.
Okay,
We good.
yeah, I know. Like, listen, I want harmony, harmony
Good
in
man.
the community, right?
We
We want
good.
to uplift one another, right? Unless you out here abusing people and using and abusing and mistreating, then we is not uplifting that.
Is that Umar?
Period.
Is that Dr. Umar? No, it's a joke. Joke.
No.
And so, right,
No.
put some lotion in that beard. Nah, I mean,
So,
in this real.
First of all, introduce yourself, please.
Oh, come on now. You know me. It's EP, the Hope Dealer.
Oh,
What's up?
now you want to come back, Kamani. Hold that thought, because before you came on here, Kamani said he had something he wanted to say, and now here he is. So I can have him on as well. So I'm gonna just let him say his
Mm-hmm.
piece because I know you be talking, and then I'm gonna I'm gonna let you go.
All right, now.
Sorry, but you do. I just try to add him. Okay. Hi. I need some ladies
Am
on here.
I on? Oh, yeah, I'm on.
Yeah, you're on.
How you doing?
So. So state your name and say your piece, please.
All right, how you all doing? I'm Kimani, IG known as Kilkenny718. Um, so basically, the only thing I kind of agree with everything you're saying, bro. But at the same time, but there's one aspect of it, well, kind of two aspects of it that I just take a little issue with.
Mhm.
Because I don't like, while I agree, right, that the images that most of the time they're going to show negative images of us, right, and they're going to promote, and anytime we slip up, not to degrade this by calling this a slip
Right.
up, but when we slip up, that's what they're going to promote.
Correct.
But what I don't like is I'm just at 51, yo. I'm just tired of the butt white folk. Let's fix our house,
I agree.
and then we won't have those images to keep getting promoted that we got to compare to Roethlisberger and Weinstein and Polanski, who's hiding in France but still doing movies over there like Rush Hour 3 and all that crap.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my issue with that. But
Fair
we
point.
also keep making that same argument when we do the things ourselves, when we make music that glorifies negative things in our community, drug use and drug selling and promiscuity and sexual deviance and all that stuff. And someone from within the community says, hey, let's not show this, let's not show this with such abundance. Then we make that same argument. Oh, well, no one talks about, Alice Cooper eating bats on
Right.
stage, and no one talks. I don't care. I
Okay.
don't care anymore about what white folk are doing. I just don't. Because we've been here way too long and understand the power structure way too much to keep talking about what they're doing.
Can,
They
can I ask?
control those avenues. So of course they're going to show us in the bad light.
Can I
Go
ask you a
ahead.
Okay.
question?
Yeah.
I don't want to interrupt your thought because you were spitting, but I am going to interrupt your thought because
Okay.
I know you're a hip hop head.
Yeah. Yes.
So are we not, as hip hop heads, perhaps more mature and so on and enlightened, still not supporting some of that?
Are we not supporting ourselves?
Are not,
Negativity, you're
and are we
saying?
not still supporting music that perpetuates that type of image?
Absolutely.
Some of our favorite
Absolutely.
artists.
Absolutely.
Absolutely we are.
Absolutely, we're supporting that. Everyone's crying about Diddy now. Biggie literally said, "Talk slick, I beat you right." So it's been part of Bad Boy specifically and hip hop, and we still and ain't nobody stopping. Like you were saying, ain't nobody stopping playing Michael Jackson records. Ain't nobody stopping Biggie. We celebrate Biggie every year. Ironically, we celebrate his death every year and call it an anniversary, which is another thing that boggles my
I think
mind, that we celebrate more when the day that he died. I don't even know when
I think it's
wait, his birthday might have been the
September.
other day.
I
There
saw,
might
I
be
saw
the other
something.
day, or maybe
Yeah,
even today or something like that.
yeah.
And that's only because of Instagram and the algorithm that's got me following it. But everybody knows March 9th is when he died.
I think that's because Cannabis said the greatest rapper died on March 9th. I think it just stuck. It just stuck.
That
It
might
just
be
stuck
it.
for me.
That might be it.
That's what it is.
Another situation of us promoting nonsense because Cannabis busts LL's ass and everybody
No argument.
act
No argument there,
like
brother.
LL
No
won
argument
because
there,
LL
brother.
had the machine behind him.
No.
You know, she had the machine behind him to beat him. That's the other thing that people on. But anyway, go
Well,
ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, but yeah, that's
no,
another.
no,
That's another
Right,
conversation.
that's
But
another.
no,
Right,
no,
right, right.
but no, you make a very good point. But and I know you're chomping at the bit over there.
I'm
No,
cool.
you good? Okay. No, because I'm gonna get to you in 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
The
Mm,
only thing I wanted to say is that, like, again, people, like, on occasion, because it's hard to come up with something new to talk about every week, right?
mm,
Sometimes the ideas are just like, oh my God, I really want to talk about this. And then other weeks I'm like, damn, what am I going to talk about this week?
mm,
And as I said, I tend to avoid, like, trending topics because everybody talks about them. And I want to talk about something that is more relevant to our own daily lives than, who's dating who, like, who's separated, or whatever the case, right?
mm,
but
mm,
but the things that we find entertaining, the things that attracts people, the things that interest people, tends to be a lot of fuckery. Like, I
mm,
really do, like I said, I be wanting to talk about politics so bad, but I am professionally involved in that space, so I have to be mindful.
mhm,
But I have very strong opinions in on that topic. But I'd like to talk about more serious things that are impacting us as a community. But I feel like people people don't want to hear all that, like, hotepery. They want to hear that ratchet nonsense. Well, rather, they don't want to hear it from me. Now,
mm,
maybe
mm,
I'm wrong, right? But because that's not really me. It's I care, but I like there to be some balance. So if y'all would be interested in talking about more serious subject matter, then holla at the kid. Let me know. But I feel like y'all, like,
I
I
want.
feel like
I
that's
want. I
not
want
what
to
y'all
hear
want to
what
hear.
this. I want to hear what the other brother had to say,
Yeah,
man.
absolutely.
All right,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
a couple of different things. One, I think we have reached a point where we don't necessarily have to believe that one person's fault is a stain on all of Black community. I think that's a part of a problem that actually is the reason why we protect people who are toxic in our own community, because a lot of people say, well, they're one of us, right? First of all, if you are doing the things that Diddy is doing, or Harvey Weinstein, or Trump, or whoever is doing, then you are not one of whatever. Just because everybody that's your skin folk ain't your kinfolk,
Right.
period. And what you're seeing with Diddy is no different than what you saw with R. Kelly, which is no different that we saw with Kevin Spacey, with Russell Simmons, with Harvey Weinstein. It is a shift in the culture. So for a long time, there was an understanding that, like, these men mostly were operating without impunity, and then they're just untouchable, right? What we saw with the Me Too movement brought in that no, these people can be touched, and so there was a lot of men, not even just famous men. There's a gymnast, or there was a doctor that was given like some like 180 life sentences or whatever, because it was found out that he was, sexually assaulting every U.S. female gymnast that he went to examine. Right? This was happening for decades. So literally hundreds of women came forward and said, "This is what happened." Why didn't we stop it? Because the culture didn't find it important. But what we saw with like the R. Kelly documentary and all that, now we're starting to see a culture that's starting to protect women. I still think that we're not protecting Black women in the same proportion, but protecting women.
Agreed.
But I will concede this: it is possible that Umar. I know the Prince of Pan Africanism, Dr. Umar, said that it was a concerted effort, a conspiracy to get Bill Cosby convicted because there's oil under his land, and somebody said that he wanted to buy, every time he went to buy CBS, another scandal would pop up. Guess what? None of this stuff will be. There's some people that never get in scandal. You know why? Because they don't do shit to get in scandal. And so there's nothing to find if you don't do it. What happens is that people that operate like this, whether they be Black, white, whatever, get to a point where they think they're too big to fall. That's what we're seeing right now in our presidential trial, or the former president who's literally on trial, and he's literally outside giving interviews where he's admitting to crimes outside of the court where he's being tried, right? Because he thinks he's too big to fall, and the public opinion has shifted. Public accountability, like this generation ain't having it.
Hold on there, buddy. I don't want to interrupt you, but I'm gonna interrupt you since you mentioned who shall remain nameless from me. But where is he being held accountable? And don't say because he's on trial, because if you really think that man is going to be convicted, then I got a bridge to sell you.
Exactly.
Has there been any sitting or former president that has ever gone into a court of law?
Come on, don't do that.
This man
Don't do that.
is literally like what Neo in the Matrix.
Bro,
so what I'm saying is this: we have had presidents who have definitely committed crimes. Richard Nixon being one of the most recent and prevalent. There was never a sitting president that has been charged with felonies, or sitting or even former president that has been charged with felonies and is currently on trial. So no, there is a difference. Hold on a second. There is a difference, but that's not my main point. I'm not going to get off on Cheeto Satan. My point is this: like the culture has shifted, whereas in the 90s, like everybody knew that R. Kelly was messing with Aaliyah. Like we knew. I remember, but nobody. They're like, all right, and even in the lyrics, age ain't nothing but a number, making love ain't nothing but a thing, backstage underage. Like these things were in our music and in our zeitgeist for the longest, and everybody just took it as normal. Now people are not taking it as normal. Now I'll say this too. The difference between, say, a Michael Jackson and an R. Kelly is that you don't see Michael Jackson's sexual assaults coming up in his music. And so people don't necessarily associate one with the two. And also, he's been on trial for, I think, 3 or 4 times, and each time he was not convicted because for whatever reason or another.
He settled.
He's also deceased now,
right?
So.
But and he's also deceased. But what I'm saying is this, and when you read the trial transcript, some of the stuff doesn't, like, there was a lot of people who were actually like suing him to try to get on and all of that kind of stuff. Bottom line, period. But here's the thing, like I said, in general, the culture ain't having it no more. We have a culture that's more enlightened, that they're like, listen, I want my rappers, but I want them ethnically. Now you're gonna have some knuckleheads that's gonna, always support Tory Lanez or, BBL Drizzy or whoever. But for the most part, they're holding these men accountable. And these men are scared as shit for it. Like they're running scared for it.
Well, I appreciate the shift, and you're right. I agree that a lot of why people are being held accountable, because you're right, this didn't just happen yesterday. This has been going on, and people were being protected for it. But there's still, you know, depending on who you are, right? There's that protection has the potential to, to run out at a certain point, and typically it's going
Mhm.
to have a more negative impact on us than others. Well,
But you know the game you was playing
wrong
with.
is wrong across the board, and yeah, a lot of shit was getting swept under the rug in the past, and people were getting away with it. Nobody was saying anything, for whatever the reasons, that it was more socially accepted, or however you want to characterize it. Um, see now. Damn you, Paul, because it was your idea to talk about this, but everything I want to say is like a cancellation waiting to happen.
Let
So,
me
I mean,
let me
it's
just
something
say
you
this
gotta
real quick.
talk.
Let me just say this real quick. Bottom line is this: you lay down with dogs, you're gonna get fleas. These men knew the game that they was playing. They knew the potential risk. It's just like if you selling that work on a corner, you know that there's a potential risk that you can go to you can go away for a long time. These men were instruments of a higher game, and they knew the game that they were playing, and somebody called that card in. Eliot Spitzer, when Eliot Spitzer, and for those who don't know, Eliot Spitzer was a former governor of New York State for a little bit, who made his bones on prosecuting prostitution rings until he was caught up in one. Um, if you talk to the politicos that are around, and the people who are in the halls of Albany, New York, and knew the legislatures and all that, it's like everybody dirty. It's not that people ain't dirty. It's that if you ain't doing what they say, or you didn't grease the right palm, or you didn't do the right thing, then they're gonna expose your stuff. And so what you have is these dudes who they knew what game they was playing. They knew the potential risk. It has nothing to do with whether they are part of the black community, white community. It really doesn't have that. It doesn't have that ring. It's that your card got pulled, and their card is getting pulled strategically. I would agree with you. Their card is getting pulled strategically because they were in a space of control and whatever. And they were controlling a certain thing, but when somebody no longer needs your control, then they're ousting you. And so, yeah, it was a concerted. It was very strategic. The fact that what's the name came forward uh, a couple of days before the statute of limitations ran out, he settled, and then the sharks started to gather. Yeah, like that. Yeah, it was very
but
strategic. But
now
how you get out of all of that is you don't do the stuff. You hold yourself
no,
accountable.
yes, 1000%. But I do want to shift the conversation off of Diddy. But
Right.
one final thing I want to say on that topic though is, like, the apology obviously was incredibly insincere.
I didn't even
'Cause
watch it.
Okay, well, the whole thing is it, but if you see it on his, now he had stopped posting on his social media for a while, obviously, because he knew what them comments were given, but he didn't turn them comments off. And people were going crazy on him in the comments. But initially, his stance was, I'm not guilty of any of this, and my name will be cleared literally 2 days before he made that apology video. He posted something, some like cryptic meme. I think it said "Time will tell" or some shit like that.
And it did.
Ugh.
Video told.
Exactly. It absolutely did. Like, yeah, that didn't age well, sir. So anyway. All right, so enough about him.
Hmm.
Yes.
Cameron,
Cat.
while you're here.
Well, I didn't even hear about Cameron. What
Call him
happened with
Okay,
Cameron?
so the
finest.